Okay, we're live with another Cartridge Club Hangout. I'm here with Cody so far, and yeah, I'm having a hard time speaking at the beginning of this for some reason. Anyway, how's it going?
Good. Good.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you playing the Cartridge Club game of the month yet, or?
No, I've played Catherine before, but I'm definitely interested to see what people are thinking of it. I haven't checked the forums yet though to see any discussion on that if there has been any. Have you been playing it?
No, I've been too busy.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be busy here for at least another week.
Anything interesting going on? Probably more EMT classes.
Yep, just same stuff. Start testing out for stuff this week. Well, Sunday and then Wednesday. Was supposed to start this Wednesday, but they pushed it back, and yeah, that's about it. Collecting.
Hmm.
I got a I got a deal on a Genesis, like an original model Genesis with the it doesn't have the what do you call it? The BIOS that checks the licensing. There's no
Huh.
licensing BIOS in it, or whatever you want to call it.
Is
I'll have
it
to go.
region free then?
Yeah, I can't remember the significance of it. I thought it was like it could play hack games or something
Okay.
easily or something, right? Like right off the pins.
Hmm.
Without trying to trick it. But anyways, like uh, I got that sent to me, got it the other day, and I'll have to go grab it. But it took some serious damage. Like I've never seen anything like it, and I'm just like, what the hell? How did this happen? And
In shipping?
yeah,
Oof,
yeah, and
that sucks.
shipping. I mean, you got to those Genesis are pretty tough, those shells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, other than that, I got some more. Been working on my Sega Master Collection. This week I went through and printed off the master list that I needed, and I think I'm down to 15 games for a complete set, but it's all going to be the upper end, the upper end games now. Seeing that James Buster Douglas go for $800 sometimes, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? And I hear the game sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been up to a whole heck of a lot this week. Been watching more Star Trek, not Discovery. I watched that, but just in terms of stuff that's more than one episode a week, Voyager, which I've been enjoying.
You watching that on Netflix or?
On Crave, which is a Canadian service. It's basically where you get like all the HBO and Showtime stuff, like Game of Thrones, Westworld. Uh, that's kind of the stand-in for CTV All Access here, I guess, because that's where Discovery's airing. But they have all the Star Trek shows, so I've been watching that.
Yeah.
I think it's on Netflix as well, but I might as well watch all of them in the same place.
I never got into Voyager. I heard it was pretty good. You got to figure it had a pretty decent run. Was it like
Yeah,
6
every
seasons
one of
or
those
something?
had 7 seasons or something, which is insane.
Deep Space Nine, and then there was The Next Generation. I didn't watch any of that other one, Enterprise, the Scott Bakula one. I never watched any of that one.
Yeah, I haven't either. That's something I'll watch next, obviously. But anyway, hey Ryan. He's just waving because he doesn't have his mic unmuted. There you go.
Hi.
How's it going?
I didn't want to disrupt the talk, so that's why I was just waving.
It's fine. But yeah, I'm about 7 episodes into season 2 on Voyager. I didn't like it at first when I started watching it when I was doing my Star Trek marathon a couple of years ago. I watched through all of Next Generation and all of Deep Space Nine within a couple months of each other, I think. And because I was just getting the seasons from the library at the time, none of them were on Netflix. I picked my time on that perfectly. It's like, I want to watch Star Trek, and they're all gone. So, but I watched I think 8 episodes after I finished Deep Space Nine, and I just could not get into it. I think I was either burnt out on Trek, or it just was a downgrade from Deep Space Nine, so it was hard to watch. But removed from that, I'm enjoying it.
Do you when you watch this stuff, do you pop popcorn and stuff?
Not really.
Oh,
I should. But it's not like a thought out, like I am sitting down for Star Trek time. It's more like I'm gonna throw an episode on here or there when I have time between other stuff. Or if I'm just waiting on something, I'll throw an episode on.
yeah. I don't know if any of you guys got to play Division 2 beta.
No.
I didn't. And the thing is, I pre-ordered it, and I was messaging Ubisoft, and they were messaging me. Got nowhere on the emails with them. So, it just, to me, it's like, they really want to ask a lot of money and get you to do the pre-order and then tell you, okay, you get this exclusive access. So I canceled my pre-order. I decided, fuck it, dude. I'm not going to deal with another pre-order that lets me down,
Yeah.
Screw it, dude. Screw it. I'll wait for that to be bargain bin. I guess I'm becoming more of a hard ass on these companies, like believing that, I want to see them deliver everything that they say they're going to deliver instead of like building hype just to get freaking pre-orders and then not freaking follow through,
Yeah, they ask you to pre-order to get a beta code. They better give you the beta code.
Yeah, and the thing is they give you the runaround over it too. Like I pre-ordered this back in last August, and they sent me a code that you have to redeem on the Ubisoft site to get your PlayStation code. So I was trying to figure out like crazy, like, hey, how do I do this? And then I was messaging Ubisoft, hey, where do I input this code? Been trying to do it for like a month now, getting ready for this beta because I got 3 other friends that we'd probably group and play the hell out of that game. But I'm just gonna let that shit slide because I'm just tired of that crap. They get you on hype for stupid little things that like emblems and badges, which I guess really don't make a lot of difference in the game overall, but
yeah,
it just shows that you were there from the beginning. And I'm done with it.
The thing about it is too, a game like that, it's gonna probably sell well. And those games like that, honestly, you will find them within $20 within this year at some point.
Yeah.
If you can hold off, that's not like there's certain games that probably won't be on sale, or if they do, they won't be for very long because they're not like a mass print game like that. That's a mass print game. Like you're anything essentially by kind of like Ubisoft or EA is gonna just be mass produced, and eventually stores get to a point where they're just stocked with their warehouse full, and they're like, well, we have to get rid of this stuff, so drop it to $20, flush it out, and let's go.
Yeah, I got the first one on Amazon for like $13, I think, on a deal of the day. At one point, I can't get into the Division. I have nothing against it. I just can't get into it for whatever reason. Hey, Retro in the chat, by the way.
I liked it, just because I started on day one, and same with like original Destiny and stuff. Like I like some of those multiplayer games because I got friends that all have PlayStation, so we all are PlayStation gamers, and it seems like because we all work around the same schedule or whatnot, and it just always would work out. But I mean, I think like I got changes going on with me, like I might be doing a different career path, and I'm still lined up to do fire again this year, and I start that up in April. So I mean, I'm not even going to be around to really dig much more into a few weeks into it, even if then. And it's like, I got to cut back and think about what's going on here, you know, and you know, I don't know. Just sometimes it reminds me like when I used to collect when I was younger, like PS2, like I'd get every release, like freaking literally every release during that era, PS2, Xbox, like the GameCube ones I wanted. Like I was trying to collect for all these systems all at once, all the new releases, and like it was expensive now that I think on it. You know, it was like, jeez, you know, I was buying all the new releases, and you know, PS1 would throw one out there every now and then, and I'd be like, all right, you know, because I remember it was well into PS2 life, and then Ark the Lad collection came out, and like, you know, I was like, oh, I got to have that, and you know, it was like, I don't know, just I'm trying to avoid doing that, you know, like anymore. Like I actually thought about it. I had this other game pre-ordered called Biomutant, and I haven't heard anything about that game anymore. And it's supposedly coming out here in April, like it's some hot game, and it's like, or like it was being promoted like it was gonna be a great game, and then it just went quiet. So, you know, for $100 game, I'm like, no, they wouldn't be going quiet on it with that close to a release, you know. Because it's made by that THQ Nordic, and they made another game recently, Elix, that they made a big, nice bonus package for, and the game failed. You know, it just wasn't that good.
No, it was Darksiders 3 they did recently. Elix was a different company, I think. I know it's a different developer.
I don't know if
they.
It was either Focus. It was either Focus or THQ Nordic.
Focus sounds right.
But I think THQ Nordic is making this Biomutant game too. And I mean, it looks interesting, but honestly, I mean, the more I've looked at just the little bit that they released, it seems like it'd get really repetitive and boring. So I canceled that. I actually canceled Devil May Cry 5, in which it's just like, man, you know, the only thing I'm going to actually, I think, get in the future here is I've actually invested a lot into that freaking Toe Jam and Earl game. I was thinking about that. Like I got 4 copies of that coming from Kickstarter, and then I did an add-on piece to the Kickstarter right at the last minute, so it gives me another copy, a collector's edition. Then Limited Run has a collector's edition coming out here on Friday. So I mean, yeah, I've invested a lot into that game, and like I don't feel bad about it. I mean, I know why I did it, but I've invested a lot into that. So, you know, I'm hoping I'll play that one. I'm going to try to platinum that quickly, and then definitely want to get Left Alive. I think that looks pretty cool. So I kept that pre-order. I'm going to get that for sure.
I keep forgetting about that game.
Yeah, Left Alive.
Yeah, I think I keep mixing it up with like that Xbox Live Arcade game, I Am Alive.
Oh, no, yeah, Left Alive, dude. It's going to be, you know, kind of like, I guess, Metal Gear-ish, tactical. You know, I don't know how much of it's like kind of like maybe action.
Isn't it the front mission type one, actually?
Yeah. Okay. I think they're going to integrate, like, it looks like there's some parts where you're going to fight in the mechs in it as well. But if you played Front Mission Evolved, you had the action mech fighting, and it looks like it has scenes of that in there. And then the gameplay looks like it's tactical, time-based, you know, Metal Gear-ish type shit. But it looks cool. And it sounds like it has multi-story lines. So
nice. Yeah, I hope that's good. I have no interest in it myself, but always good to have good games out there for people. But,
well, it's different. It's different from everything that's coming out, you know, anymore. It's definitely a different game.
Yeah, more of a niche type thing. Yeah, I had that problem of just buying too many new releases. I think last year mostly. Last year or year before, where it was I just kept buying the new ones, and I never got around to most of them. Like I got like Horizon Zero Dawn, I never got to it. I got Nier Automata, the Uncharted Lost Legacy, and probably several others, and I just never ended up getting to any of them.
Yeah.
So I made an effort to do less of that last year. And I think the only release last year that I regret buying is Monster Hunter World. And not just because of the quality of the game at all, just because I never got around to playing it. I got it for multiplayer, and it's like, I was like confirming with people, okay, we're playing it on this system. We're going to do this. This is going to be a thing we are going to do. And it's like, okay, like the day before release, it's like, okay, yep, we're doing that. So it's like, okay, got the game. Got home, it's like, okay, when are we playing multiplayer? Silence. Just silence. I never heard a second word on the thing.
Behind your right shoulder there, is that Troubleshooter, the cartridge?
Yeah. What about it?
I could just tell.
Yeah.
Did you see my post about that secret command I got on Twitter?
I don't remember.
Messing with OWASP. Yeah, I got it. I got that game for $2, dude, and like it. I liked Rambo. I mean, I actually, since I knew that was coming, I played through Rambo First Blood Part 2. I did a playthrough of that, and the game, I mean, is like you beat it. I should really look at speed runs on that. See if there's speed run times. I could probably speed run that one. Because I used to play the hell out of it with my mom growing up, and like on the Sega Master, and then I was playing it, just all came back, and then I used to think those little cutscenes between the levels were awesome. I was like, yeah, he's all freaking tightening the bandana on and shit. And Secret Command is it's Rambo, but it's just renamed. It has different cutscenes. And the opening screen is kind of cool because it's different. It doesn't show Stallone. It shows just the
generic soldier guy.
Yeah, but it was cool though, because like the soldiers like holding this M60, like shooting to the side. You're seeing them shoot to the side, and they did this flash effect. So it looks like he's blasting that thing. And it's like, hell yeah, that's cool.
It's cool when you get like a spiritual successor like that, even if it's just kind of like for a crappy tie-in game. Sometimes that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the same game, just a regional difference. They had to change it for regional differences. So
okay.
I decided I would definitely keep that Secret Command, because if I'm trying to plan my next stage, of like how I want to do my Master System collection, is like, instead of trying to go after every entire release that every region did, I want to get every game that the Master System had, regardless of region.
That's probably a better plan.
Yeah, instead of trying to, okay, I'm going to have 3 copies of Space Harrier because that guy I got the Secret Command from, I got a Space Harrier, and it's the European version, UK version of it. And then when you look at the back of the case of the UK version versus the US Tonka version, they look different, and there's some different wording. But it was like, man, I don't think I want to get that deep into it, because I'd be sitting there with 4 different copies of Space Harrier by the end of the day.
Yeah, I was just thinking like just of games that were changed to be not their original thing for regional difference. This is just a the brand was not a thing here, but you ever play Last Battle?
Yes, I have it.
Yeah,
Yep.
This is a Fist of the North Star game.
Yep.
That just like so random. They just
had to
changed all the names and everything.
Yep, and Black Belt's the one before that.
Yeah, I couldn't remember which one that was. I knew one of those was a thing before that. Yeah, it's funny to see those sometimes where they just change all the stuff around. Yeah,
so I completed my Master System cards for the US. I got that done. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm thinking this year I'm going to try to make a push for those other titles I don't have and get that part done. And then I want to look at the European stuff, like Lucky Dime Caper, and there's a few that were released as Genesis titles, but 8-bit Master System elsewhere. So I'm going to try to get those, and Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm getting on the fence again about my Nintendo stuff. It's like, God, I just hate to hold on to it because I'm never gonna dive into it, you know.
Yeah.
My buddy got me on it. That's what I think's irritating. Is he brought it over, and I bought him a Master System, so we did a trade basically, and I'm just not into it. You know, I'm just not into it. The NES stuff like he was.
Yeah.
Or is, I should say.
Sometimes it is just good to do that purge and get down to what you actually care about.
But he's come back and he's like, he does over the road trucking out of Chicago, and he comes back home every month. And he's on his way back now, and he's like, yeah, man, when I get back, I think I'm gonna get rid of my GameCube. Out of nowhere, it's like, okay, get rid of GameCube stuff, huh? I got to figure out what games he has and see if I need any of those, because I do like the GameCube. I did like that system, and because I had a nice GameCube setup too. Like freaking, I had the black GameCube, I had the Ethernet adapter, I had the bag that you put it in, like the backpack, and then all the hookups for the advance and the advance to go in it because I wanted it for the Metroid. And shit, I ended up selling it off. I traded it off, and I'm like, damn, dude. I wish I would have held on to that. Same with my original Xbox too. I had that all in a backpack and all that shit, you know.
GameCube had a decent library. It's not much. There's not really much there outside of the exclusives for much appeal there. Like, I mean, the first party titles. Like, you've got weird stuff that was on other systems, but it somehow feels like more appropriate on that system, like Killer 7. But outside of that, it's just kind of, it's got a good small library of games, like a really good, like, what's the word I'm looking for? A just concise stack of really good games.
The way I always say it about that generation is that I thought, and I mean, years even playing it after it's been out, that I think that the GameCube has the strongest exclusives of that generation, while the PlayStation 2 had the biggest variety of games.
Biggest library.
Yeah, and then I guess if you want to say Xbox has the best graphics or something for it.
Has the best hardware.
Yeah, but
overall.
To me, I had all three. I had GameCube at launch. I bought a PS2 shortly after that because I wanted a DVD player, and then I bought an Xbox because I heard all the praise about Halo, and then that was the promised release console for Shenmue 2. So I was like, all right, you sold me. I'm buying it. So out of all three, the Xbox was my least favorite. It to me, like, granted, I know it had like the best looking, but it was always kind of like, well, this has got God of War of it on it, and this one over here's got whatever Wind Waker, So it's kind of like you're drawing me in with this stuff that I wasn't gonna, I don't know. And then I guess like the games that are multi-console, like majority of my friends had PS2, so if anything, I was gonna play the same game on the same console they were playing it on. So
yeah.
Most of my multi-platform was PS2 for that reason. So
that was a good time, man. Mm-hmm. When you think about it, it was a good gaming era there. I liked it. I mean, it kept me interested for a long time. You figure what, PS3 didn't come out till what, 2000? Was it 6?
Yep. Yeah, it was 2006.
Yeah, so I mean, the PS2 was quite a run. It
had a 10-year shelf life too. But
quite a run. And the freaking
the PS2 was releasing titles up until 2013.
Yeah.
The last years, like even between like 2006 and then, it just nothing came out.
Except
Persona 4 did in 2008, but that was basically the last one. Unless you really like soccer awards.
It's I find it fascinating that people are like, people are doing everything in their powers to have like some of those PS2 online games still going, like the SOCOMs and whatnot. They're doing their own servers to keep it so you can still fire up your PS2 and play those games online.
Yeah, but no one likes backwards compatibility, right?
No.
I need to get that figured out, man. I did like SOCOM. I remember, and like, you know, to me, I thought that was really cool because I'd get on there and play SOCOM, and you know, you could actually hear the other people talking, you know. And I mean, I thought that was so cool, man. Like freaking, I wasn't a huge PC gamer, so I mean, I'm sure people were playing games and talking on that, but you know, I was into consoles, and when I heard that, I was like, whoa, this is great. And like, I got like 2 of my other buddies on board with it, and we're playing SOCOM, you know, and like that was a good shooter, dude. Like I'd sit up and play that all night, and like now you can't even get me into a shooter that much, you know.
No, broadband, that broadband adapter for it was pretty damn hard to find for me for a period of time too. I was so excited to play, and I finally found one. I remember I went to like store to store and eventually found one at a Walmart where they had like the last one where I bought it. I think it might have been like $40. And then, you know, for it, because I was really interested in playing online, but I know if someone picked up the phone, you know, I had a dial band internet, you know, was it dial brand?
Dial up.
Dial up, whatever.
I don't know why my voice cracked there.
We called that was like if someone picked up the phone to try to talk, you would lose your connection. So you had to hope, you know, unless you had multi lines or something like that. I didn't. So
yeah.
I remember I lost a game or so like that because of that.
Yeah, I remember I just had DSL, dude. You know, went right through the phone company, right into the phone line. Then they put these filters on there that went right into your phone jack. So then it turned it into Ethernet. And I mean, when you really think about it, it's like, how did they do that? You know, through a 56K port, you know? But yeah. I really like the Xbox too, the online stuff on that. I played the heck out of Halo 1 and 2 and some Mech Warrior.
See, that, you know, though, for me, when they were trying to sell live, I was like, why should I pay when, you know, I can play PS2 online for free?
Yeah,
you know, so that was like, that was kind of me. I'm like, why? I still blame kind of Xbox for this, that the prices, no, people, they'll cite that they have the best online infrastructure online, but I still don't think the price justifies it, you know.
You know, Microsoft had that freaking hand until PS4 all the way. You know, I will say that even in 360, even though I stopped doing 360 just because I was tired of paying for 2 systems. And I was like, all right, I'll do away with the 360 because I'm tired of them saying, oh, I can't access my purchase because I don't have freaking Xbox Live. So it was like, fuck, you know, I'm done with that crap. I'm done with it. And like, you know, Sony's got a real good system going on with their network now, but they're doing the same exact thing. You know, you lose all your plus perks as soon as your subscription runs out, you know, and to me, it's a whatever. I mean, half those games I'll probably never ever touch again.
Well, the thing about that is, you know, granted, if you ever sign back up, you get those games back. But
yeah,
the thing is, things don't change like that. I think Xbox, you get to keep it now. If you had it with live, if you download the game, you get to keep it. I think
361's yes, but not Xbox One. I don't.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
No, and I could be 100% wrong too. I thought that was the case, but here we are. And if there's only some way to look this up. Oh well. What's it called? I remember thinking to myself too, because I was big into PS3 and I was like, well, you have free online gaming here, and I never really had a problem. And the people who told me always that they had the worst service ever were people who I knew were Xbox fans. And this isn't a poo-poo on that, but I'm just trying to wrap this around full story. The only way things like that change with your online services is if something dramatically, you start to see sales in your competition doing better. And the one thing I can think of with the PS3 era is if you wanted to watch Netflix on Xbox, you had to pay for Live in order to get the streaming Xbox app on your 360. PlayStation didn't have that, so I think they said that for like a year or two prior to it happening, you had to pay for Live plus your Xbox, and I think eventually that helped PS3 catch back up with Xbox. So eventually Xbox dropped that paywall behind it.
Yeah.
So
that was an odd time.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you're dominating the competition, right, you don't have to make changes.
Yeah.
It's not until there's a counter reaction, which is probably why what the rumors are going full kind of right now with PS5 and whatever the next Xbox is gonna be called, that both are gonna be fully backwards compatible.
Yeah, that's big. That's big, dude. If they actually, the thing is, I'm not expecting any kind of true like backward compatibility out of it. Is to like, there's got to be a catch. It's like you're gonna either pay to unlock that emulator, or it's gonna be backward compatible, yeah, but you're gonna pay for every game or something again. Somehow.
See, I do think they might find a way how to have an emulator for each one of those consoles that it can play. I don't think it's going to be like the Xbox, how Xbox One is doing it right now, where Xbox One is
you put the disc in and it downloads the game for you.
Exactly. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to be more along the line of both of these machines having emulators and just saying, there you go. You might not things might glitch out here and there every once in a while, or they're not going to be probably like fully patched, or but there'll be emulators and they can say, oh, there you go. Hope you're happy. It
would be cool if you can choose the option of like play off disc or play updated version, because I like a lot of the updated stuff they've done on Xbox.
Yep.
For example, the original titles, it's Knights of the Old Republic. That goes from being the least playable version you could possibly find of that game to being probably one of the best versions of it to play. Like between playing it on the original system or on your phone or on PC. Because the only real downside it has, aside from resolution now, is the 4x3. But if you pop Knights of the Old Republic in the original Xbox now, it runs like hell. And I don't like playing on PC or computer in general, because I'm a Mac user, but I just don't like playing on the computer because I don't want to sit in my chair and type on the keyboard. I want to sit on the couch, and I know you can do that more so now, but it's just not how I have it set up. But so you can do like much better resolution and probably better controls on PC and everything. But I just never really got into sitting down and playing it that way. So now that they've got the updated version where the frame rate's perfect, the resolution's pretty decent, and it controls well, that's the ideal version for me because it splits the difference. It runs real well, doesn't have as great resolution, but it's the most comfortable to play. Like, I like updates like that. So I don't mind if they do that kind of thing. You do get issues once in a while with games. Like, I remember Reach didn't work very well at first. And the biggest one for me, it was like, that is not a good thing at all, was the 360 version of San Andreas. Because that doesn't download the 360 version of San Andreas. Actually, no, it does. I think it's the original Xbox version, I mean. The original Xbox version of San Andreas. If you put the disc in, it does not download that version of San Andreas. It downloads like the phone port of it, which has a whole bunch of graphical changes, worse lighting, and just a whole bunch of other random crap. So when stuff like that happens, it's bad, but every other time it's pretty good.
That's cool.
I think that Rockstar just being lazy with that is what that situation was.
Yeah. I don't want to say that they're lazy, but they just do things to a point, and after that, they're just like, meh. It's like
they're lazy with that particular set up with that particular situation. They were lazy about it. Granted, it's just like, put the latest version we have on there, which works, unless the latest version you have is crap. Yeah. I'm not super confident about the PS5 right now, just because of the weird fumbling of communication about backwards compatibility and crossplay and all that. I'm just not getting a sense that they understand what in the hell they're supposed to be doing.
I honestly think there's just not enough information to be shared yet, and people are just coming up with too much of their own ideas.
Yeah, no,
Sony's not come out and said this is what's up. You know, some of it they've confirmed, some of the leaks, but there's been no like, oh, this is the hardware, this is what's up. There's been none of that yet, and everybody's already predicting the chipset that's already in it, things like that. It's like, look, man, you know, you guys said this crap with PS4 too, and you know, they had all these ideas for it then, and it never happened. So it's like, you know, they just need to calm down, because I mean, even with the backward compatibility thing, I think that'd be a huge bombshell if they did do that, you know, PS1, all those, you know, but for all we know, it's just going to be internal software to run repurchases of everything from the beginning. You know,
as long as you can put the disc in, I don't mind. As long as it reads that license and downloads the game. A way to putting the disc in and having it work off the disc is the ideal way. But if you have to do it a software way, I don't mind that, as long as you don't have to rebuy it again.
The thing is like, you figure people figured out how to burn games and do that crap. I mean,
they can probably get around that now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Sony's going to be like, they're going to have something in there to where people might not figure it out right away, but if they do, it'll be like Linux or something. They'll fucking drop it, you know, because they won't want to lose money.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I doubt it.
Maybe they'll just track that system and figure it out and be like, you know what? Bing, you're done. You know?
Yeah, they'll figure out what the exploit is and get that taken care of real easy. But if they couldn't, I would imagine instead of getting rid of the emulation entirely, they would get rid of the ability to use discs, which would not go over well, but it would go over better than getting rid of the functionality entirely. But what I mean when I say I'm not confident in it, it doesn't have anything to do with leaks or anything confirmed or unconfirmed about the PS5 specifically. I'm just talking about their communication in general over this generation, like from the last year or two. Since like the whole cross-play and backwards compatibility stuff started becoming a major part of the discussion, they've just fumbled every single point. And it's more of a shuffle, but they promoted the guy that was the one at the Gran Turismo event, like looking at all these old games and going, why would anyone play this? And just not getting the appeal of backwards compatibility at all. Yeah. And they were doing comments about crossplay today, and it was just like, it's not like a light switch. We have to do all this stuff from behind the scenes, and it's up to the developers whether they want to do it or not. They got to contact their Sony, not advisors, but something like that. And then immediately, I think it was a developer of Wargroove came back and was like, it is exactly like a light switch on our end, and we have been trying to get crossplay compatibility all the way up until launch, and every time we contact anybody at Sony, we are told no. We are ready to flick the actual switch, but they are telling us no. So all those claims are just nothing. Like, it's up to the developers, and the developers are all being told no, so that's a lie. And that was Sean Layden, not the other guy, so it's like, none of them are being honest about the thing, so that's really disconcerting. They just don't seem to get why people care about those things. They relented on Fortnite because people wouldn't stop bitching about it, but I think that's about all.
I think with the backwards compatibility, it's just their machine can't do it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where the machine wasn't built to do it.
The Xbox One wasn't either.
Was that?
The Xbox One wasn't built to do it either. They implemented the software solution.
Yeah, but they have infrastructure which is closer to what the 360 is, where the 360 was built more like a PC, while the PS3 was built like something else. PS3 was built, so the Xbox One is closer to the 360 than the PS4 is. The PS4 is closer to the 360 than the PS3 is to the PS3.
Yeah, I think they just borked that decision with that hardware in every front, but.
So, and I think just with how they structurally built the thing, it's just not possible. So you have to kind of come up with, well, what's your excuse?
Yeah, work around.
Yeah, so
PlayStation Now.
Well, do you think if Xbox One was, if you think Xbox One was, leading the way this generation, would they do backwards compatibility?
Probably not, honestly. I'm not saying Microsoft is our friend. I'm not saying that. It's just they are understanding more the customer angle about it. They had to do the chip because they weren't doing well, but still.
The Xbox One got away with saying that same stuff at the beginning before it even launched. Remember with the whole DRM stuff where Major Nelson says it's not just like some kind of light switch you can turn on,
Yeah, but they changed leadership partway through.
Yeah. So it's it's just the people who follow their company line. I imagine with Sony and the whole crossplay thing, it's more along the line of we have to go to Japan and get approval from people in Japan, the heads up at Japan before we can do anything. I imagine that's the whole procedure, just kind of knowing now how this, if it's a Japanese run company, you can't, even though it's the in thing in America, it still has to go up the ladder and up the chain. It could take years or months before someone finally says, okay, fine, whatever, what will help us sell, get some more green,
Yeah, which is a fair argument until you look over at Nintendo, who are partnering with Microsoft on several games and doing cross-play.
But let's all over the place. The Wii U, where
I know.
So it's kind of, you have to learn. It's honestly that Sony learned it the hard way with the PS3, how it started off in in bad times, and then eventually they figured out what they needed to do, and what it's one thing when you're at the top, and then when you're behind is what do you do to make the customers happy? So
yeah. But I'm not judging them as a whole, based on past or future or anything. I'm just saying, in the current climate of it, what Sony is putting out there on these topics now that they're a big discussion is not giving me confidence.
I think both machines are going to be exactly like the same.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of what games you want. So
I'm hoping it's more iterative. So. My dream situation for the next gen of consoles on everything but Nintendo, because Nintendo's going to do their own damn thing no matter what anyone else says, is that if they both have Blu-ray drives, multi-platform games work across both platforms. It's the same print run. It just boots up whichever version for whichever console you plug it into. Because there's no reason, if the hardware is basically similar and the discs are the same, except you're just running a different OS, there's no reason that they couldn't put both those versions on the same disc and boot whichever settings are needed. I would imagine if they started planning that now. I mean, if they started doing that at the start of the generation as they're building the systems, if they introduce that functionality, there's no reason the discs shouldn't work in both systems if they're on both platforms.
Yeah, and I imagine they're both printed on Blu-ray discs.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
But the only thing is, the one thing you would have to do is you would have to find out a way that the company that has that game for its console makes a buck, because what's the point of doing it,
I think it would actually save you money in the long run, because you don't have to print two different SKUs of the game. You can print one.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, that's great for the game developer, but how does this help said console, with playing the game,
It's not really helpful in terms of anything other than customer goodwill, but I don't think it makes sense now, because this is mentality that goes back to cartridges, where everything was different and nothing worked on the same form factor and nothing was the same. It was all different stuff. You had to remake every single game every single time you want to do a port of it. But now we're basically on just modified PCs. Hey, we're on modified PCs with the same damn disk system and everyone's trying to play online across platforms now anyway. So what's the point? If the game's going to be on both platforms to begin with, what's the point of releasing it in 2 different boxes? It doesn't make any goddamn sense. They're making both versions. Make a friggin' switch of the settings for one set of settings is compatible for one system and the others for the other one. It'll save you money in manufacture, and it'll be less to confuse people on the shelf. Gaming is, like, because of all that stuff from back in the cartridge days, is one of the most just cumbersome forms of media to get into, because it's just like you have to buy this version for this specific box and nothing works between the two, and it's just weird. And especially with exclusives, you can't just have one game player that uses discs. You have to get both because only certain games come out on certain systems. I think that they should do, and this is probably my hot take out of all this stuff, is that in terms of exclusives, I think that should go the way of like Netflix and other service-based stuff, where those should be the realm of digital stores. If you want to do an exclusivity period where your game is on the digital store on your specific platform and tied to that for a certain couple of months, do that. But then once the disc comes out, it should work on all disc players of video games. You know?
Yeah.
It'd be nice, but I don't think it's happening as long as consoles exist.
I don't think it's happening as long as Sony exists.
No,
it might happen with Microsoft, but it's not going to happen with Sony.
Well, that's because they already got their, they're building their Xbox Live service,
Yeah,
so
again, it's not like Microsoft is our friend. It's just they're making the right decisions in my mind right now. They're going for more of a play wherever you want type thing, and not like making an artificial border between consoles. That might not work out well. That might fall flat on its face, but I'm glad they're trying it.
Well, it's like, I think ever since all the structure of Netflix, everyone's like, well, why can't we have this with gaming?
Yeah, and now we do, sort of, with Game Pass.
That's essentially what I quit buying movies because of it. I used to buy movies all the damn time, and then I got Netflix. I'm like, why am I buying movies when I can just essentially find something to watch on here?
Yeah, but Netflix has evolved to where it's not even like when you look at Netflix of, let's say, 7 years ago, it actually had like movies. Now, like, you got Netflix originals on it, nonstop, or like nothing but series. You go and try to find a regular just let's watch a movie. No, you're freaking watching a series now. That might as well be a fucking binge channel. It's no longer let's watch a movie. Well, I remember the series were an exclusive thing on Netflix in the beginning. Like, oh yeah, that's awesome,
Yeah, but it's not like Netflix doesn't have movies anymore. It's just for their original content, they're mostly doing series because that binge business model works for them. That's what people like about it. But what I was saying, but still with Netflix, it's like they put out their original series, but after a certain amount of months, then you get the Blu-ray of it. It's not like you can never access it again if it goes off their service, or if you unsubscribe from Netflix, you can never watch that show again, and you can never have a physical version of it. They put out physical Blu-rays of all their shows. Or most of them. Like, I saw one for the season 1 of Castlevania, which is only 4 episodes, for $20 at Walmart.
Oh, that's cool.
Not all of them, because I still haven't seen like Arrested Development. I don't think.
But that wasn't a Netflix original initially, unless you're talking about like the new seasons they did.
Seasons
those aren't
4
available.
And 5. Seasons 4 and 5 have never been put out there yet. So
that sucks.
And I don't think Daredevil season 2 has. 1 has, but I don't think 2 or 3 has.
I'm saying eventually they get physical versions. It's not like on a set schedule, and it's a hit or miss on certain shows, but they do put them out, is what I'm saying. And I wish they would do that for games now. Like Microsoft is putting all their new releases on Game Pass, but you can also buy a disc. I just wish it worked where like the discs worked across the platforms that have the same form factor, kind of similar hardware, same disc format. Those work between each other. Obviously, the digital stuff is going to be locked into whichever console you're using. That's not really something you can get away from. But I wish games weren't so cumbersome to get into for people who aren't already entrenched,
Yeah, but I also don't think it's that hard to understand.
Compared to other entertainment mediums, it is. Like,
if you care, it's not hard to learn, but the thing is,
no, but why would you give a shit if you can just pop something up on your phone and that's something you already have, or with a movie you can pop it into whatever Blu-ray player you get, unless it's 4K. But that's a simple thing to understand. Is you need the 4K version, or that version comes with the original Blu-ray. You aren't absolutely screwed if you pick up a 4K Blu-ray disc and you don't have a 4K player. It's like, okay, I'll just use this disc then. A lot of people won't even think about it. It's like in terms of they spent more for that version, they won't care. They'll just use the other one. But and you don't need any sort of special thing to read a book. So it's just, or music. It's just like you can use whatever form factor you're using and it'll work wherever. Like if you buy a music CD, that's less common now, but if that'll just work in a CD player, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only time it gets cut off between different services is with digital. Like you can't use a not a Netflix song, a iTunes song on Spotify or something. But that's a fairly logical cutoff because they're service-based. They're not media format-based. Like, you're not going to buy a book and it's like, oh, you need to get these special decoder glasses in order to read the book. That's how ridiculous gaming as it is now, still being this way, is to me. You know? Yes, we see the cat.
Yeah, that's my barn cat. Saved him from the farm.
Very cute. And not amused by being held up that way.
Yep. Yep, he's independent.
As cats do. But yeah, there's my rant on exclusivity and game formats. But it is ridiculous. They need to change it so it's more inclusive to people.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the whole digital era. It takes kind of the fun out of things, I think. But
I think with the whole digital era would be that issue would be resolved if every game was $20, right?
Yeah,
if every digital game was $20 coming out, brand new. Your hot titles, $10. Let's say it's the $10 the Game Pass price. Right?
On Game Pass, yeah, but buy to own, hell no, that's not going to happen.
I'm just saying. Let's just say
hypothetically,
every game's $10 digitally. I'd probably give up buying physical games on the PS4. You know, unless I saw it for $5-10 physical, I would probably jump then being digital only. That is the only way you convince me. Because to me, I rarely, and this is probably why I'm not digital at the moment, I see the prices drop for physical games way more faster than I see buying digitally. Games on there are still $60 when I'm seeing it in the store for $20.
Yeah, they need to fix that where like there is some kind of price drop after a little while. I agree with you there. But the sales after a certain amount of time, when there's like a sale on for that week, the percentage drops are much higher digitally. That the prices get much lower than they would physically. In the short term, yeah, the physical versions are going to go down faster because they need to sell out the stock and make room for new product. But in the long term, you're going to get much better deals on digital stuff.
And honestly, I wish should be a law. I wish should be a law that if you physically own a game, let's say that they're getting rid of, you have the right to automatically you own it. Let's give an example like. I mean, I can't say PT, but because that was just a demo.
No one owns that.
Let's say like PS3 stuff before they pull the store down.
Yeah. I mean, granted, you could still download a couple games, but I'm just saying like there's games that you are no longer available in the store that let's say you lose it or something like that. You know, like you should, if it's down, you should still be, and you purchase it, you should always be able to get that game regardless.
I can still download Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I can still download Turtles in Time Reshelled.
Yeah.
I can still download X-Men Arcade.
But I'd feel more comfortable if there was like a rule that it can never be. That's like another gripe where as opposed to physical media always being there for you, you know, like
like if when they're going to take the store down, they remove the DRM and you can just download all the stuff and keep it on there.
So stuff like that. Some assurance like that. That's like these are just gets my gripes for a digital only world. You know,
but I don't think we're ever going to get digital only. I think that's something that people are overly fearful of. The digital payment methods definitely need to improve. I very much agree with you there, like in terms of the stability of stores. But there's still physical movies all over the place. There's still physical music. It's lesser, but you can usually, when you want something, you can find that. And people are collecting freaking vinyl now. It's just like that
came back.
Yeah, vinyl came back, and it's like that wasn't a thing like, oh, everything's digital now, it's so much more convenient, I'm gonna go get vinyl for some reason. There's nostalgia for vinyl, and there's an appeal there to the physical product. So that's kind of your collector's edition now for music.
There are audiophiles who swear by it too. So
I watched a video on that recently where it said like there's not that much of a difference. It's just kind of coded differently, depending on the bit rate you're listening to the song to digitally. But like at a certain point, it's indistinguishable. But I've never listened to a vinyl on a player, so I can't really make any claims to that in terms of personal experience. But I know it's the sound is balanced differently. Anyway, that wasn't the point. But but it's like the physical versions then become your kind of collector item.
Yeah.
Whoever that is in the chat still listens to cassettes.
Yeah, like that Toe Jam and Earl collector's edition that's coming out on limited run. They're actually releasing a cassette of the soundtrack on it too. So it's like, okay, because like I got the vinyl of the new Toe Jam and Earl. I got that a while ago, and then it came with a CD. So I got it on vinyl CD, and then if I get this other one, it'll be on tape too. Yeah. And the digital download.
Yeah, those are awesome collector pieces, and that's what I mean. Like the physical movies aren't collector pieces at this point. There are certain editions that are like celebratory editions, like of cult classics, like Shot Factory puts out. Like they put out a special edition version of Mad Max, and that's a more popular title. But they do like Dark Man and a whole bunch of other just really obscure crap. But like that's kind of the cool stuff you see every now and again. But you can. For the most part, you can just watch stuff on Netflix and watch stuff on whatever streaming service, buy digital when there are sales. But for stuff you really care about, you can go out and get a physical thing for the most part. And I prefer it that way because it's like I don't want to own every freaking movie physically. I don't care. I'll watch a movie on Netflix, and I'll probably either never watch it again or watch it again when it's on Netflix, unless I have a really good reaction to that movie. I'm not going to really go out and get a physical edition because I have no attachment to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's perfectly fine for the most part. And same thing with music. You're going to listen to it digitally for the most part. But if you really like a CD and you want to support the band, going to a concert is probably better than buying the CD, but you buy the CD. But it's like that stuff doesn't erase physical media because there's always going to be people that prefer the physical option. It's just the vast majority don't want to be cluttered with all this crap that they have to move around all the time. And it's just not really practical to have everything physically.
Yep.
So I think the all digital future thing is just kind of unintentional fear mongering about media. It's just like absolutely none of these things are true for any other media format. So why do you think it's going to be that way for video games? We'll get streaming services and we'll get physical editions for games. Like we'll still have the big popular releases come out on physical disc. Maybe they'll be delayed due to a streaming or digital exclusivity period. But the indie games and all that are still going to get their special editions if they do well, you know? Like we've got 3 different published releases of Wonder Boy at this point or something. At least 2.
Yeah, 2 for sure.
Yeah, and like freaking Owl Boy got a special edition that was like this freaking big. Yeah, physical's fine. It's going to be less prominent, but it's not going away. That's ridiculous to me. Yes, I have no idea who this is in the chat because their icon is like a Z. Sorry, person. But Yeah, the Steam Marketplace has a whole bunch of crap on it. I've heard about that. That's kind of what you have. That's kind of what happens when you have like a more kind of a less curated platform like that, I should say. I think I'm not hugely familiar with Steam stuff.
Got any direct predictions for tomorrow?
No.
Any hopes? Any hopes? I guess.
What is that?
No, that's fine. Not give me any
does...
crap guy in the chat. I just can't tell what your name's supposed to be.
Oh, Nintendo Direct, right?
Yeah.
There's one tomorrow.
You know, honestly, I mean, I'm not really a fan of the Switch, but if they actually announced a port of the Metroid Prime trilogy without the motion controls, where you could just play it with a regular controller like the first two, I'd be like, I'm on board. Hell yeah.
I hope they have both options because there's places for both. But it would be really cool to see like those updated versions, further updated, but you don't have to use the motion stuff.
Like I tried to some people are hoping for it. You know,
I tried to play Metroid Prime 3 and couldn't, and I hate it because I really wanted to play it, but I can't because I hate the controls so bad. And the same with Other M. I thought Other M was really unique, dude. I liked it, but I just could not. I couldn't do it. The controls would always screw you over, dude.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's a smart idea to release that just in terms of holding people over until Prime 4, and just in general, it's a good business decision to release that. A lot of people want to see it, and they'll buy it again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I saw a bunch of people asking for it, and to me, it makes sense to release it eventually at some point because, I mean, it would be a good stopgap, you know, as a way of saying sorry for, you know, going back and redoing Prime 4. So here's this to hold you off, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, Z in the chat is saying he lost hope in Nintendo after the GameCube, and that's fair. Like, motion controls definitely aren't for everybody. That did super well, but it was very hit or miss. And there was a lot of shovelware, so I understand not being too into that. And then a Wii U was just kind of a bad decision all around. You have any interest in Switch stuff? I'll leave it there because that's going to be like 30 seconds to reply. But
sure. I don't know. You know, one thing I would like to see, and I just thought of this like a half hour ago, just thinking about, you know, the Wii Shop shut down like a week or so ago, you know, and like that was the last time you could download games. The problem is, I mean, I found games on there I wanted to, but because I never ever put any money on it, I guess they took the paying for it to feature away in March or May. So I couldn't put money down to buy these games, you know, to play them. So the only way to go about doing it right now is to homebrew my Wii, which I hear is not too hard to do. I guess I'm saying this for those digital Wii games that are now gone.
Yeah,
I would like them to be on the eShop for purchase, you know, and cool. Like the Castlevania game, the one that's the remaster of the Game Boy one that they kind of fixed and made it
Adventures Reborn or Rebirth, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, and there's a Contra one there. There's a Castlevania one, and then there's I think there was I can't remember what the name of the Konami shooter is. Gradius, I think.
That's one of them.
Yeah, so you know, throw those on there. You know, like you know, you can make a little bundle, or if you want, or you know, just if they're digital only and you remove them from your Wii Shop,
they're gone.
Yeah,
they're not available on anything else.
I can't see it being too hard to put them on your eShop now. So that's something I guess I'm hoping for as an announcement, you know.
Yeah, unfortunately that comes down to like licensing and copyright stuff, and whether the developer wants to go back and upgrade the game, and that's unfortunate. But yeah, it's concerning. But that's also just like Nintendo being Nintendo. They probably just don't even think about it. They just like, well, we're not going to support this store anymore. Off.
Yeah, you can turn the servers off then after that. But
you know, it just amazes me how they can just shut that stuff down too and not even think about it. It's like, how can you not have the storage now, or you know, for old games old technology. Why is there not a way that they can't figure out a way to keep that sustained? You know, put it on a new store somewhere else and just, you know, do like like the PlayStation did, you know, the hybrid store where it had all the different systems you could purchase, like PS3, PS2, PS1, Switch, Wii U, Wii, you know. I mean, why do they even got to get rid of it? I mean, they could sell those games in a continuum for as long as they have that store. You know, they need to start when they put those games in a license, they need to be like, look, we were going to fucking get a license for this on our store for future use forever. You guys want this game, you know, we're going to invest into it and put it on our store. Well, guess what? You know, at this point, we have the right to put it on forever.
Yeah, I don't think that works, honestly. Well, sorry to cut you off, Ryan, but like,
no,
licensing, it is a complicated thing, and I don't think like license for perpetuity is actually even a good idea, because if contracts worked that way, we would never have any hope of EA losing the Star Wars license. It just wouldn't happen. They'd have it forever. I know that's not like the same exact kind of thing, but you know what I mean?
Oh, like, because Disney said that they have no problem with the EA making their Star Wars games?
I think that was more just kind of like public forward-facing speak, just a marketing speak.
He's probably not aware how well the games did for them or something, or what they've done, basically. He's just like, whatever. He's probably like, yeah, I'm sure they were fine. You know, he probably never looked into it and just gave an answer.
Yeah, but it's also just kind of, that's what you do for public statements, is you're polite about it.
They sucked.
Yeah, like no one would ever really do that, or you'd get blacklisted.
But I don't know. I'm just saying, it's like, as of right now, I really do want to play those games. And right now, I would have to go about, you know, jailbreaking my Wii to do it. So
yeah,
and I don't want to do that at the moment. So I'm hoping at some point that they will announce, like, hey, you remember the digital only games? Well, they're back, and you can play them here. You know, so that'd be cool. I'm not even asking like a full on like 1080p update or something like that. I just kind of wanted to say, hey, here you go. You can download them right here anytime you want, like just like the NES games or something like that. Here you go. Just come here and download them. You can play them.
Purchases need to carry over from system to system. I agree.
Oh, that would be nice too. Purchases from other systems.
Yeah, that's an issue for preservation's sake, though. Maybe you could get a second Wii for cheap somewhere and mod that one, or get one that someone else already modded that it doesn't want it anymore.
That's a good point. Yeah, I'm sure I can find something like that online, but I don't know. I mean, there are like 110 million of them out there, so
yeah,
I'm sure it won't be hard to find another one. So, and I'm not the biggest fan of the Wii anyway, so
yeah, I don't even have mine hooked up, which means I should probably just homebrew mine because I'm not using it anyway.
There's always neat little things. I kind of got into discovering the guy, and it through I think I discovered him through My Life in Gaming, but his name is Modern Video Gamer, or Modern Vintage Gamer,
Modern Retro Gamer, or something like that.
MVG, I think he's called.
Something like that. Yeah, I'm familiar with who you mean by name, at least.
He's been showing like how to. He doesn't show you how to get the ROMs and everything, but he does put out videos like show you how to jailbreak your consoles and everything, and he tells you why, the benefits of doing it like that, and like the Wii U one, that you can jailbreak it, I believe. Then you can play the region free, and you know, you can play the games that weren't released in the US, so physically, and I don't know, stuff like that fascinates me. That stuff you do makes me consider doing stuff like that. So why would you want to jailbreak your 360? I mean, I watched one recently about that, where you can essentially upload your games, put them on your hard drive completely, so you don't have to worry about. You make a copy and you just keep your game on your shelf. So if you want to just play your backup 360s, you know, your ROM's saved automatically to your hard drive, so you don't have to worry about putting your disc in and red line, you know, red ring of death. Ugh.
Yeah. A lot of people do that with original Xboxes. I've heard examples of that, where they just do backups onto the hard drive. Which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't really want
to
go through the modding thing.
It should be fascinating, because I think no one really knows what Nintendo's got coming out this year. I know they've talked about what Fire Emblem is going to be a thing addressed tomorrow. So
Sorry,
what's up?
What were you talking about? I just tuned out for a second.
No, I'm just talking a little bit more about the Direct. That I think the only thing they've essentially announced about tomorrow's Direct is that Fire Emblem will be talked about. So don't expect anything fun tomorrow, people.
Yeah, just Fire Emblem, maybe some Animal Crossing, I guess.
Well, here's the thing: is the Nintendo kind of spoiled this one time. I think, in my opinion,
Smash DLC.
No, well, yeah, Smash DLC. I could see. I would say maybe another character reveal. And please God, don't be another goddamn Fire Emblem character. We already have like 10 in this game. We don't need another one. But I think there was that one Direct, I think, that took place in January, the Year of Luigi one, where they're like, oh, we're giving, it's gonna be Luigi's Mansion 2, and you're gonna have this figure, and guess what? Here's Wind Waker HD, and it's kind of like, oh my God, you're giving us all this crap. So now like everyone's got their hopes up for like every single Direct to be this great, and I imagine there's gonna be, I mean, that's the thing, is you can't come with high expectations to these things anymore. So unless it's maybe like an E3 one. But usually when Nintendo tells you something, they mean it. So it's like when for their E3 last year, when they said that the main focus is going to be Smash Brothers, it was just Smash Brothers for
and
for the
some
majority
people got more angry about that than others.
Mm-hmm.
But
so
I just wish I didn't watch the whole damn thing because I didn't care. But that was on me for just continuing to watch it, even though I knew it was all going to be Smash.
Mm-hmm. I hope it's not all Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a singular thing again.
I don't think it's. I know it's big in Japan. I don't think that it's that big in North America. I know it's sold better, but I think it isn't as popular as a lot of their other franchises. So I don't know. That'll be fun. But
person in the chat says they think Nintendo needs portable VR headsets, and like now would be a perfect time to bring back the Virtual Boy, but actually make it good this time. I think it would be interesting to see Nintendo do VR because they've already got like the portable platform. They could do kind of like you get with the phone headsets where you just kind of plug it in. It would be awkward, but you could do it. And
I imagine that'd be something like a Switch Lite or new Switch.
Yeah.
You could do, I imagine that's something that could be a feature. I mean, if you'd say you do that where you can buy this, probably Nintendo would be, $59.99 adapter. It's just like whatever, like a $10 headpiece, that you could put your Switch in.
Yeah, I'm just picturing the Nintendo Labo VR where you just plop it in the backpack and get your robot arms.
I ain't doing that shit.
Yeah. Somehow make a VR headset out of cardboard. They team up with Google.
I can see that.
Just drop the screen in a slot in the Labo.
Yeah, that's what I was initially. Google Cardboard.
And I imagine if they did that and they said you could do 4K then on your Switch, that would be like a selling point for people to buy the Switch all over again.
There's no way in hell that's happening. This is Nintendo we're talking about.
What for? Well, they will give it like 4 years.
On the next console, they'll do 4K.
Yeah, and I imagine they're not ditching this format anymore. I think it fits both regions for North America and Japan, so it's great that they don't have to make a 3DS. And they don't have to make, they don't have to worry about doing two divisions anymore. It's one division, makes their life a lot easier. And I just imagine these make smaller tweaks and upgrades for the year. We're like, okay, now when docked, it's 4K. And then when, I imagine, like you said, if you had a headpiece like that, you could do VR. Because phones can do VR now.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I was making a joke about the Google Cardboard. You get a cardboard thing with a couple lenses and you plug your phone into it. It's not like a full-featured Oculus or Vive experience, but it'll give you a VR experience. I think, Nintendo would be cool to see certain games in VR like that, and it would actually be funny to get like not backwards compatible, but virtual console Virtual Boy games and be able to play those. Maybe with like an updated graphical overlay, so they weren't just harsh red. But that would be awesome. Actually, I'd play that. I would play the hell out of that. There's no really other practical way to do that. But they do a lot of good, like it comes off like insulting if you say like they do good kid-friendly or party-style games. But Nintendo's like the only ones that are kind of mastering those kind of areas in interesting ways with like the Mario games and Zeldas. They're not necessarily like just super kiddie, but like they'll have hit or miss stuff like 1-2 Switch. But seeing them do VR stuff with that kind of simpler gameplay style would be interesting.
Yeah.
Like, because like who in the hell would not play Beat Saber on Switch? That would sell gangbusters. And it's just super simple. I wish I could play it now, but I already hurt my shoulder playing it. I think I'm just about healed, but I'm going to give it at least another week just to play it safe. Doesn't help that I just tweaked my lower back shoveling yesterday.
Holy shit.
Yeah. My shoulder's fine, but now my back hurts. So no Beat Saber for me. Frustrating. That was a good discussion on that. Steph, any other direct comments?
Yeah, I don't know. It should be fun. I always get excited for it. Hopefully I don't get too many help desk calls tomorrow when that's going on, so I can watch it. So
I'm assuming they'll have something exciting because it's the first one of the year, right?
Yep.
Yep. So I'm wondering if there would be any interest in doing kind of a mini one of these, kind of more not structured, but just kind of like initial group of people, maybe an hour-long chat tomorrow if there's stuff that's good announced.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it all depends on the announcements, right?
Yeah.
I don't think if it's Fire Emblem only, I don't think there's gonna be much need for talking about it. So
yeah, that's like 2:00 Pacific time, my time. So
let's say they announce a Breath of the Wild Majora's Mask. That'd probably be huge. They just use the assets over for it, but make a different game. In the style of Breath of the Wild, I think I'd be happy.
If we'll give it a couple hours to see kind of the hype on that, but maybe we can start up at like the regular time tomorrow if there's interest in doing that, and we can try and get like 3 or 4 people to start it up with to have an initial panel, but leave it open still. Because like, if we leave it, if there's great announcements and we leave it for a week, the hype's going to be significantly reduced by the next Hangout. This is why I'm bringing that up. It would be more fun to do it like in the moment. You know what I mean?
If Metroid's announced, you can count me in.
Metroid what? They already announced it. Yeah, the Metroid Prime trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. Yeah, I think it would be cool to like do like mini versions of these Hangouts when like event stuff happens. I know we already do like podcast like E3 stuff, but like the more casual stuff, where it's not really worth doing a whole podcast scenario.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it all depends on the announcements. I mean, if they just like, surprise, this is because we don't know essentially what's coming out this year for Nintendo. Yeah. That's the thing. Was essentially some of the other consoles we were like, yeah, we know this is coming out and this is coming out, and that should hold us off until E3, which other announcements should probably, say, okay, this is what's coming out in the fall. We have no idea what's coming out from Nintendo this year. Yeah. We know some games, but we don't have dates. But yeah.
Hey, Musty's in the chat.
Musty have it.
Gonna be jumping in a few minutes. I didn't intend for all of us to stay silent in anticipation, but
yeah.
Can't really think of what else to talk about there. We already did the PlayStation talk, or my PlayStation rant. More so. What else is there?
Did Crackdown come out today?
No, that's Friday.
Okay.
Be interesting.
Oh, Crackdown 3?
Yeah. Anyone other than me interested in seeing Battle Angel Alita in theaters? Or Alita Battle Angel, I should say.
Hell no.
Yeah, that's reasonable. I want to see it. I've just been reading the manga. I'm gonna kick myself because if I go end up seeing that in the theater, I didn't see Bumblebee, I didn't see Creed 2, I didn't see Spider-Verse or Aquaman, but I'm gonna see freaking Battle Angel. Nerd.
No, I remember I was I don't know if I told this story, but I wanted to go pay my cable bill, and I don't know if everyone's local mall has like a test survey room where it's like they have people asking, like, we'll pay you if you do a quick test or a survey for us, just so we get paid by companies to see people's reactions and whatnot, and you just give us your honest opinion after said test, and we'll pay you. I'm like, oh, also I was walking by and they're like, we'll pay you money to watch a movie trailer. I'm like, okay, sure, I'll watch a trailer. They're like, yeah, it's just one trailer, so we'll get some money. And I think eventually it was just $3. And I was like, well, movie trailers, whatever, minute long for $3. Yeah, I'll do that. But you had to do a survey, after it and give them a response. And they said, take about 10 minutes. And it did. But I thought, because like they said, you had to sign like an agreement. This trailer's not done. We want your honest opinion. And I think the cube next to me, the guy had like the Aquaman trailer like a month and a half before it even came out. And I was like, oh snap, I'm gonna get to see the Aquaman trailer. I'm gonna run that in my buddy Goose's face. I'm gonna really, rub it in and tell him, guess what I just saw, and it's got like, because I could hear it in the background. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get the Aquaman trailer. It's gonna be sweet. And then I got that trailer, and the CG was terrible. I was just like, in
Lolita?
Yeah, and I think I seen a trailer for that like months prior, and I'm like, this movie, I don't want to see this movie. So I gave it a really harsh review. I was like, they're like, what's your interest level? I'm like, no interest, because they had like like 5 levels of like no interest. What can be done? I was like, nothing. This movie looks bad. It's just, I gave it just shit on it. I still have no interest in seeing that movie. So sorry.
Fine. Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty niche kind of appeal movie because it's a freaking 90s cyberpunk manga, for Christ's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but it's pretty cool that they're doing it at all. Anyway, were you just mentioning that because I mentioned Alita, or were you going off of something with the comment in the chat about cinema audience polling?
It was actually just because you mentioned Alita. So
yeah.
That's where I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm not seeing that one.
Yeah, but like on the audience polling thing, like you said a bunch of stuff on that sort of already, but yeah, I think that would be a little odd to do like the kind of tablets in the back of each seat thing. That would be really expensive for theaters, for one. Theaters already aren't doing super well, I don't think. But I think kind of something along the lines of what you're talking about, person in the chat, is kind of what Netflix did with Bandersnatch recently, where they kind of did it's not quite like audience polling, but it is like a choose your own adventure type viewing experience, and that was interesting. I didn't really watch it, but it was cool to see them try that at least. I don't think it works just in terms of the medium as like a major thing, but it would be interesting to see like indie stuff like try stuff like that again. With the digital services and all that, it's a lot easier to try out crazy crap like that. Was it Bandersnatch? Was that the title?
Yeah, no, it is. The Black Mirror Bandersnatch, right?
Yeah.
But I always mean to watch it, but I always have to like, okay, well, do I want to do this or do I want to watch this? And I just finished Punisher season 2 instead this weekend. So
what'd you think?
It was fine.
Yeah,
it was fine. Yeah, I preferred the first season, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, so did I. Mm-hmm. I think the pacing was overall a bit better, except for like the villain plots at the end kind of went. But aside from that, it was better pacing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because the first season was super good, but it was real slow. Mm-hmm. So much talking.
Did you ever notice that he always seems to do like the same like head movements, kind of like he talks like this and does like that back and forth with his head? I don't know.
Yeah. Keeping the mannerisms consistent, at least.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Like, once you commit to it, you've got a Christian Bale situation going on. It's like, you mean I have to talk like this in all 3 movies now? God damn it.
Russo!
He's almost going Batman with that voice.
Mm-hmm. I understand the changes. Like, I wanted Billy messed up more, but
It was like
that, you know. I understand the choices where people can tease him about his face, you know, even though he's still beautiful.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like, oh, my face is all horribly scarred and all that, and you take it off, it's like you've got like a cut here and a cut here, and you're fine.
No, it looks like a cat scratched your face, like,
yeah,
you know.
It's like you fell into a freaking box full of cats for 2 minutes. It's fine.
Yeah, it's essentially what it is. I'm like, yeah, you can just go buy some of that, like, you know, cream at Walgreens and put it on there. It should be fine.
Yeah, it's just like you can't get that fixed.
I'm ugly now. Don't look at me. Well, that wasn't. I don't know. I understand why they do it because you can, you know, I don't know. I prefer the mask. Put the mask on then.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing, at least. Yeah. Hey, Musty.
Hello.
How's it going?
Awesome.
Are you feeling musty?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah. No, things are good. I was testing out Rec Room with Derek.
On the VR?
Yeah. And that could be a really good time.
Yeah, sounds interesting enough. But I haven't tried it.
We were goofing around in the room itself. Creepleap was there too. And then we ended with a paintball match. It was a 2v1 paintball match, and I got wiped, but it's promising.
Is that where the robots for Astrobot came from, or was that something else?
No, the
that was
robot
Playroom, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Playroom, Rec
right.
Room. I was getting those mixed up.
Yeah. But you don't have to have VR to play that, which is also interesting. But yeah, like the room's wild. There's a card table and sort of like a boardroom that has like whiteboards and stuff that you can draw on, and there's like a stage area, and so you can have somebody up on stage with a microphone and like do like open mic night or something. It'd be pretty wild. But no, things are going all right. My purge stuff is moving nicely, which is good.
Yeah. Thank you for shipping that item out, by the way.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, that'll probably be next week. It'll end up being.
Yeah, she said 7 to 10 days. She says 7 to 10 days, and then the problem is that as of once it hits the border, it loses ability to be tracked. Really.
Yeah, it'll tell me it's in the country, but that'll be it.
It doesn't have that far to go once it's in the country. Yeah.
Depending on which area it comes in from.
Also true.
It's like they say about Vietnam. It's a whole nother country.
Okay.
Is that Tropic Thunder?
No, that's from Forrest Gump.
Oh.
It is a whole different country, man. For all we know, old Fitnet's up there roasting up, freaking playing some games, really taking it in deep.
I think Misty can confirm that is not where I am. Or I would have sent an entirely different address.
Yeah. But no, what else? Yeah, I mean, you guys are sounds like you guys hit on some of the big stuff. The Activision layoffs are.
Yeah, we never touched on that. Do you have any thoughts on that? Other than it sucks.
I don't really. It sucks, but like, one of the things that I was looking at was that, you know, they're like, this year Activision and Blizzard specifically like does not have a new game releasing, right? So I think that's some of why the optics of the, you know, releasing we had our best year on record and then dropping people.
Yeah, like losing Bungie and then dropping nearly 800 people. It's like, something sounds off here.
Right. Yeah, losing Bungie and then saying that you've had a super successful, most successful year on record, and then cutting 800 jobs stinks. So that's, that's a bummer. But I mean, the thing that happens, and it's happened with each of these closures, that, you know, is that immediately people are jumping to like make sure that people know that there are jobs out there. And so I'm hoping that, everyone lands on their feet. That's the best that we can hope for. And as long as that happens, at least they're offering a severance package from what I understand.
I think they have to legally.
Well, yeah, but at least that's not the news story, right? The news story is just that people are losing their jobs, and that sucks.
Yeah, they're not going to phrase it. We just gave nearly 800 people severance. It's like nearly 800 people just lost their jobs.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
The only thing I saw, I didn't see about the layoffs. The only thing I saw is that they had their that Black Ops 4 outsold Black Ops 3, and it's still undersold expectations, for EA. EA, Activision had higher expectations for Black Ops 4. So it underperformed for them.
You know what? I'm really just sick of these companies coming out with their $100 million games. They have to sell this certain number million copies, and it's like you hear about it sold 7.5 million copies. That's fantastic, and it's like it underperformed. It didn't do what we want. It's like, well, maybe don't spend that much money on it again, because it seems like every other freaking title with these people is that underperformed. It's like, well, why do you keep spending that much money on these?
It seems like you're setting your goals a little too high.
Yeah, it's like maybe lower the marketing budget a little bit. Maybe don't add Battle Royale to shit that doesn't need it.
Yeah.
If that's your focus, fine. But if you're going to do Battlefront 5 and then not release the Battle Royale mode for months on end, what the fuck are you expecting?
Right.
If all they care about is the Battle Royale mode, they're going to wait until that comes out.
But yeah.
And they did that with Tomb Raider too at the time. It was some insane number of copies sold, and it's Square Enix it underperformed. It's what the hell is your expectation?
Activision can crash and burn. I hope they do after this, and maybe go back to their roots and think about, we need
Tony
to make
Hawk
quality games. Yeah, we need to make quality games again.
Yeah, because
Guitar Hero.
Because releasing new Tony Hawks and new Guitar Heroes, for that matter, totally did well for them the last few times they've done them.
Well, that's the Activision model, right? Is find a game that succeeds and then constantly release it. Get as much out of that teat, milk out of that teat until it's all gone and dry, and then just completely abandon it.
Yeah, and then send that franchise off to the slaughterhouse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then try to come back with it a couple of years later with a really poor port. You know.
Well, yeah, they aren't they refunding all the Guitar Hero Live people?
Yeah, because they whatever mode it was that was kind of more of a live, hence the name, feature to it that had the majority of the songs on it, and that's what they shut down. So it lost the majority of its content in one fell swoop.
I'm looking back, I'm thinking just like you got your poster in the background, Rampage, Activision, that's what they fucking need to do.
Midway.
They need to. Well, I got the Rampage for Master System is published by Activision, but anyways, publish games, not publish in milk,
Yeah, it's I don't necessarily want them to crash and burn entirely, but they definitely need to get a wake-up call, maybe change some leadership around and figure out how to go forward and not piss people off every time.
It's just, they're
Same with Konami.
They got some of the best technology to make some good games, but shit, all I see is Call of Duty out of them. What else can they do?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think they have an identity anymore. It's what can you guys do? What can you guys actually do anymore? Come up with something original.
But you're talking about a publisher versus a developer, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
Activision itself has to have a portfolio, and they don't have the sports that EA does that they can just lean on. Granted, I know people's aversion to EA's business model as well, but the thing is it works, and there are people who only play Madden and they don't care. They're not the ones who are griping about it when
they're not
when
the
new release
every year and it's fine.
Right, yeah. I pick up FIFA, I pick up Madden. That's $120 a year, and they're happy.
Yeah, maybe Call of Duty or something else.
Sure. They're more likely to, and those type of people have such brand loyalty that they're more likely to.
Yeah, they don't follow the news on it. They know they're gonna buy it. Like they could see they don't give a shit that it's got a 6 out of 10 review. They don't care. They got to get their Madden fix in.
They're like, Madden, me and my buddies playing franchise. That's what we're doing, or we're playing Ultimate Team or whatever. And that's what they do, and that's that style of gamer. They're the people who pay attention to like the Madden Bowl and stuff like that when they do the those contests and things like that.
They're also the people that didn't buy damn NFL 2K when it was the better football game.
Yeah, well,
I'm still upset about that. That's honestly my hate for Madden stems back to that more than anything.
Really, that was maddening.
The specifically the Dreamcast ones. Are you talking like 2K or the
Dreamcast through that generation going after it? The PS2, Xbox generation.
2K
5 was the last one.
5, yeah.
Hey, Catherine in the chat and Derek.
Does that bother me? Because it's not the fact that they didn't kill it. Actually they did, because they bought they signed the exclusive rights to NFL.
Yeah.
So they essentially killed their competition doing that. They have a monopoly over football games.
And then 2K in retaliation did the baseball thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that killed the MVP baseball series, which was I thought the better baseball series.
It was.
I'm going to use the sports talk as an opportunity to walk away for a minute. I'll be back.
Okay, that's fine. But I mean, it's
no, it is 100% true. I agree. MVP was my.
I loved those games. Like those games were a lot of fun. And then with the way that contract was written, first parties, so that's why the show exists on Sony, right? And to me, it's like until 2 years ago, I didn't even have a PS3. So playing a baseball game has not been a thing for me outside of like the bigs, which is awesome. I love the bigs, but that's your old style arcadey baseball game, which really, I dug the simulation stuff that MVP did, especially with the pitching. Like that pitching mechanic was like genius. I really liked it, but
no, I really enjoyed it too. The last one I have, and I think maybe it's the last one they made, was the one with Manny Ramirez on the cover.
Yep. That was 2K5. Yeah, it was. I
love how ridiculous it was. Pretty damn easy for offense in that game, but I liked it that way. I didn't. My big gripe against the show now is it's too realistic. And by that saying, like, you have to swing, like, I just want to press X, okay? I don't want to be pressing the right analog stick in a certain, I understand. So if you want to hit the ball in the right field, you have to flick the analog stick to the right. I don't want to do that. I want to just,
you could, in MVP, you could hold it to the right, but it was still about the button.
Yes. And that's what I want. That's, I don't want to have to, I understand the whole motions and everything. I don't like it. I just want, and the show is never there. MVP the show, MLB the show wasn't always like that. But they went for the more, let's try to get as close to the feeling as a real baseball game, and I just don't want that. At first the show was fine. I actually enjoyed MLB the show, but when they started doing the ultra realistic crap, I want to say maybe around 2011, they lost me, and I'm not coming back until I get a more basic.
Well, or they need to build in that mechanic as a other mode, right? And they can call it whatever they want, casual mode or whatever. But you've got to be able to, like, putting that in my son's hands. No way. Like my son's like limit for sports games right now is like bases loaded, and it's maybe an inning is like his tolerance.
But put a submarine pitcher in there. You'll have the time of his life.
Yeah. Yeah, but we should acknowledge Z in the chat had mentioned a brawl game for PS4 and Xbox. Granted, PS4 had, was it PlayStation All Stars?
3 PS3.
Yeah, PS3 and Vita.
PS3 did.
PlayStation All Stars.
Yeah.
That did not go over super well.
Yeah. But
doesn't disprove the point, one, but still.
An Xbox One could be good.
Yeah.
You just have a small. I think the roster would be too small.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure that like a beat 'em up style works, because so many of the Xbox franchises are, weapon based, and so unless you like how do you get like Ori against Master Chief? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. Speaking of brawl games that didn't work out so well.
Dude, that's awesome.
And small rosters.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's awesome. An Onimusha brawl game, and it's got Zero from Mega Man in it.
Weird.
Yeah, there's years to find a decent price.
Like a Power Stone kind of thing, or
no, straight up Smash Brothers ripoff.
Really?
Yeah, it's super weird, which is why I only wanted to spend $15 on it.
Yeah. I mean, there were a bunch of Power Stone likes in the 6th generation, right? That's the Xbox generation.
Ish. Another one was there was a Spawn one. Arena Fighters is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, like a 3D level based fighter brawler type game. Like there's one that's like there's one called Loons with the Looney Tune license.
Yeah.
There's a Shrek one that's like that. A lot of you kind of overlay the skin of whatever license you're dealing with in that moment. But yeah, they like both. Xbox in particular just never really ran with it. And I have to wonder if some of it's because they're just going to get compared to Smash.
Yeah, They probably don't want that, because they probably saw what Sony did with All Stars and how that didn't really work out, and they kind of deprioritized that.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool if they got
if they had done that late in the if they had tried to do that in the PS2 generation, toward the end, and then the next edition of it came to PS3, then maybe that would have come off better. But yeah, it seems like that was like a mid-era PS3, and it just kind of they have the characters for it. They certainly have the characters for it, but it's just unfortunately.
Yeah, Xbox could do one now, especially that would be a cool thing to drop on Game Pass, and they could use a lot of their licenses through that to up the roster. Like they could have they could have pirates from Sea of Thieves. They could have the guy from Crackdown. Have friggin' Terry Crews in a Smash game. That would be a thing.
That would be awesome, especially with the taunts and stuff like that. You could get this would be a weird one, but like Senua, you could put her in there.
That would probably be a bad idea. That would probably be a bad idea. I still haven't even played that, but that would probably be a bad idea. Maybe they could swing their license with no, that's Team Ninja. I was thinking about Senua, but
well, you could bring you could get a DOA person in there. You could
you could do that. You could get
see if Namco would let you have a Soul Calibur person or something.
Oh, I'm sure they would. We can get Geralt in that one too. But
might as well. He's in. What didn't he just get announced for something else like Monster Hunter?
Yeah. But what was it?
That guy gets around.
Yeah, what I was saying was he just roams around finding the jobs where he can take them. That's not even wrong. It just makes it funnier. Anyway, what I was leaning towards was like 2B from Nier.
Mm-hmm.
Would be interesting one. They got the Xbox license for that too as well. Tomb Raider, Lara Croft. But they could find a way to do it. But I'm sure if they did more indie odd characters, it would be more appealing. They could do a lower budget thing.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys.
Hello. How's it going?
I have no idea what I just got myself into.
We're talking about brawl stuff, so you probably want to go do something for a minute, I guess.
I'm saying,
Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
like
a Smash Brothers, but for other platforms using their franchises.
Yeah, and we were talking about like
people tried that. They tried
Sony
that
did.
already.
Yeah, we went over that, and like how they did like a whole bunch of different ones during the PS2 Xbox generation. And, to go back for a second, Musty, you brought up Power Stone type arena fighters, and funny thing is, we still kind of have those because they're not in the same form, but like Naruto fighters were a thing for a long time. Those kind of went for the brawl route or the smash route, and then those kind of evolved into arena type fighters. Not in the same way, but in their own kind of way. It was like in a big open arena area, and Jump Force is, I think, kind of a similar style, and even some Dragon Ball fighters were that. Not Dragon Ball fighters, but other Dragon Ball fighters.
Yeah.
Were. So that's interesting. That's still kind of sort of around. I'd like to see a new Virtual On game. That would be cool. Actually, Gundam games do that too. They still do that format.
So, you guys do pickups already?
No, we did not.
Well, cool. You can kind of see one of my pickups. It's in the background.
Is it the amp?
No.
Is it one of the guitars hanging up? The one on the right?
The guitars hanging up. Your right or my right?
I assume it would be your right.
Yeah.
That one?
No, the other one.
This one?
Yeah.
I've had that for a long time.
Oh yeah, that was probably the one you showed before.
No. I have like a bunch of guitars. I have 3 hanging up back here.
Can you fix it, Yoshi?
Fix what?
Show it again.
Oh, it's got this is that one that I was telling you got busted in shipping.
Yeah.
It works.
I could put it on a new case. But do you really want to pay me to put it in a new case?
I don't know. It just sucks.
Is that all that's wrong, or is it like does it function, or is it like?
Sorry, I accidentally hit him in the chat. There we go. You have to unmute again. That was my goof.
Bad fit that.
It got wiped in the shipping. I don't know. There's a hole in the box, and that, it's a
file for insurance.
The lady's working on it. I mean, it runs, but I mean, honestly, I was going to clean it up and put it on display with my Sega channel in it. So I have, my displays done the way I wanted, other than, if I get an X band, but I already got a Genesis for the X band. So,
well, regardless, it got broken in shipping. USPS should pay for it. So whatever you paid for it, you should get from USPS. And hopefully it wasn't more than like $20, because that's what Genesis are worth.
Well, I got a controller with it too, an arcade stick. I paid $50 altogether.
That's overpriced.
Not really.
For the console by itself, yeah, but depending on what you got with it.
The joystick. This is an original launch system. It's got the double band Genesis logo on there, and it doesn't have the BIOS, where it checks for a license.
Yeah, I have one of those. It doesn't change the value at all. Genesis are worth nothing. Don't buy one for more than like $30. My local store sells them for $30, and they can't sell them at all. And not kidding.
Yeah, there goes your motivation on that purchase.
Sorry.
No, I didn't do anything to my motivation. You got your opinion, and I know what I see. So, what you see and I see are two different things.
All I'm saying is Genesis are not worth shit.
Genesis 2
No. Genesis 1s, Model 1 Genesis. It doesn't matter what model of Genesis it is. They all go for about the same price, which is $30. If it's more than $30 for the console plus controllers plus stock AV cords plus power brick, you paid too much. If you got
like an
arcade controller and some games with it, that changes things. But if the games are like hockey and sports games and like the EA garbage games, yeah, that's still not worth anything because those games are worth like $2 each.
Yeah, maybe he could elaborate on the matter if you stopped telling him how worthless Genesis systems were.
It's all right. I don't have to. We both got our own opinions and see different things, so it's fine.
I just giving him some crap. It's fine.
I just wanted to show the damage here.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it wouldn't even be bad if it was like a top and a bottom, but it's literally both halves. Because I mean, you could find another one and fix the other half if it wasn't the whole thing. But
I'm sure you could find another one cheap and just swap it.
Shell here. So if you get the insurance money, I probably have a shell that will fit into.
Yeah,
because I have a Genesis here that's got a dead motherboard, and I think it's one of the early motherboard revisions, which makes me sad because I was hoping to S-video. I recapped it and then found out it was dead.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Maybe we can work a deal out, and I'll send the thing over to you, and you can finish that project.
Here's a better idea. You get the insurance money. You pay me something for a case. I ship the case to you.
Okay.
You basically unscrew a couple screws and swap the boards over, and you're done.
Yeah, those are really easy to get into.
Yeah.
No, I know.
I've
torn them down. I just haven't tore this down yet because of the insurance thing that's going on with it. But
yeah, gotta wait.
It's all right. It's all right. I grab it, hold the situation. Sorry. I just wanted to see if Yoshi would be like, "Oh, I can fix it."
Nope, I'll tell you exactly everything that's wrong with why you bought it and how you bought it.
Yeah,
sorry,
and how worthless it is.
Yep.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I love the Sega Genesis. They're just not worth much of anything.
Yep. Just buzzing your balls a bit. Anyway,
just like those original Xboxes, the only people that give a shit about the original Xbox anymore are the people that want to, mod them for
false. But okay.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Original Xboxes are like worthless. My local game store has a stash of like 20 of them. They can't sell them.
Oh yeah, they're worth diddly shit, but they're great systems.
I'm not saying it's a bad system. I'm just saying that you can't sell them. Nobody wants to buy them for the most part. Because most of the games people care about, you can play on an Xbox 360 or I think now an Xbox One. I don't know if that works.
Some of them. You put the disc in and it downloads an updated version of it for you. Very rarely is it the wrong version of the game, like with San Andreas, but that's about it.
See? Yeah. I'm just stuff I noticed from my local game store. Certain consoles they can't sell.
Yeah. Anyway, going off of that point, Cody, do you want to show the rest of your pickups, or was that it?
I'll just tell you, I got I'd have to go dig them out. I already put them up. Basically, I completed my Sega Master System card collection, and that was 3 of them. I got My Hero. I got Spy vs. Spy. I got Super Tennis, and then I'd got Psycho Fox in. I don't think I'd shown that, but I did mention it. I think I got Psycho Fox now, and I also got Secret Command, and then off this lot I bought from this guy, I was able to like get the manuals and complete my manuals on a few of the games for my Master System set. And then what did I get for other systems? That's it this week. I didn't get a whole lot. Just Master System working on it. And this Genesis system that came with everything, the 3-button controller with the red engraving. I never had that, so I got that. And then I got the 3-button arcade stick, another one. But, that last one I got was broken, and I think it's funny that this Genesis broken shipping too. So it's like giving up faith here, you know.
Yeah. If they mean broken shipping, they definitely do what Nintendo don't.
Yep. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'll just do mine super quick. I'm not even going to present myself because it's just one thing, and it's kind of a follow-up from a few weeks ago. Round 2 on this guy. I got my replacement. Hopefully there's nothing else wrong with him. I can see the wheel that's missing here is not missing on him, but I haven't opened him yet. So that's cool. Unfortunately, I have to ship this one back because I went the Amazon route. I waited too long, and I figured emailing Hasbro would take too long to go back and forth, and I only had a few days left. So I just have to go take this to the post office at some point. But I'm going to test the other one out first, just to make sure there aren't any other hidden issues. Stupid Transformers. Anyway, anyone have something that's actually interesting?
I have one pickup.
Else? Yeah, you have your pickup with pickups?
Not pickups.
Not a Jackson.
Yes, a Jackson. Randy Rhodes feed. That's kind of custom. As in, good luck finding one with this type of electronics cover. Yeah, Lloyd Rose. Locking tuners. Whoever let's see, what are the pickups in this thing? EMG pickups.
Yeah, I thought so.
They're like hot as hell. As in, this thing just screams to be played with metal. But that makes sense considering what it is. Also, this thing is near impossible to play sitting down. You kind of got to stick the strap on it to play it sitting down. It has elixir strings on it, and I hate the feel of these things. The only person here that might know what that is Bitnat.
Nah.
They're basically a brand of guitar strings that are like plastic coated.
Oh. Yeah, that's not good.
They have a coating on them, like they call it this nano web coating. I think it's like Teflon or something, but they're just not good.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fantastic.
Some people swear by them, and they're like, oh, they last so much longer. I'm like, my body chemistry doesn't corrode strings that fast, and they use this like fingery stuff on them because that like helps lubricate the strings and keep them cleaner. But you know, there's this my DNML back here. I've had strings on that thing for like 2 or 3 months now, and I played it all the time, and they're still perfectly fine. Are they a little? I mean, yeah, they lost some tone, but that's you only have that new guitar string tone for like 2 days anyway.
Yeah, it's like strings are gonna wear out. That's just how they work. You might as well enjoy playing them while you have them, rather than do the weird plastic coating crap. I've never heard of that shit. Anyway, away from guitar talk, Musty, Ryan, do you guys have anything?
Yeah, all of my stuff is heading outward.
Okay, Ryan, you're still muted.
I should have some stuff. I'll have some stuff eventually because I do have a trade coming my way. But
you're gonna mute the guitar thing.
Sorry, I keep forgetting that you can hear it when I don't have.
It's fine. Just please, just for the sake of the conversation, I'll do mute. You can unmute yourself when you want to. Anywho, that's not a permanent mute. Obviously, you can just do whenever. Anyway, speaking of mutes, Ryan, you are still mute.
Sorry about that. I found this for in the electronics bin at my local Goodwill. It says $2.99, but I got the senior discount at $2.67. So looks fine. I haven't tested it yet, but I was just grabbing it because I have a couple of spare PS2s that I could probably bundle and sell, especially since they're going for about $50 a piece. So, you know, throw a couple controllers in there, and then maybe a memory card, and maybe selling a PS2 or 1 or 2 of them. So pick that up and was gonna bundle it. So that's it. That's all I found. Otherwise, everything else is coming in the mail at the moment. Nothing's arrived.
Nice. Yeah. All I got other than that replacement of that figure I already had was like some digital comics. So nothing really to show.
Mm-hmm.
Got the last 2 volumes of or the latest 2 volumes of Batman and The Flash on a sale. It's cool. Looking forward to reading those at some point.
There's a current Batman Flash story arc going on right now.
Yeah, $16 is a weird title for a story, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Swish. It's called The Price. It's Batman Flash. The Price is the story. I called it $16 because that's what it would end up being. That fell flat. Anyway. Anyone got anything else to talk about? Musty, do you have anything to talk about with the PlayStation stuff recently, or any
No.
Nintendo Direct predictions?
Let's hear some predictions here.
So I think one of the things that hasn't been talked about a lot. People are all speculating about all the like Switch games that might be talked about, and getting their hopes up in the process. But not a lot of people are thinking or suggesting like maybe this is where they start to supplement the online service offerings beyond the NES.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And so I was thinking they may not have like a full lineup, but I think that, that data mining thing happened and like people found names of games and stuff like that. This may be that chance to actually share that. We'll have to see, but so I'm thinking they at least announce that it's coming, and maybe it's like 2 months out or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see. Get more than just NES games on there would be a good selling point.
Yeah, and plus then they can sell us $60 Super Nintendo controllers for the Switch, even though the 8-bit ones are exactly that.
And better.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see.
And they don't look absolutely ridiculous on the sides of the console.
Right. Although I think regardless of what you do, they're going to look ridiculous.
Yeah. It would have been actually cool had they made Joy-Cons that were kind of more squared off that looked like that kind of form factor, and if you put them both on the side, it makes it look like a giant NES controller with a screen in the middle.
Oh, interesting. So it would... Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, almost like you get little tiny NES controllers for each side, and if you put it on, it looks like an NES controller just with a big screen in the middle. That would have been maybe more practical than 2 sideways NES controllers. Such a weird friggin' decision. People bought them because collectibles, but whatever.
What do you guys think Mighty Q-Dog's doing?
Beating it.
Well, you got to figure on this day. From his Twitter.
Well, it's anniversary of proposing to Mrs. Q-Dog, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's a slathered up night over there, I bet.
Put the kids to bed early.
Yep. Turn the old what's that thing called? Range hood. Turn the old range hood on max so it's nice and loud. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Never mind. Sorry, Q-Dog.
It's fine.
Watch him pop in here.
Oh, I'm pretty sure there's audio clips that are way worse.
Dude, how does he remember that stuff? That's what I'm curious about. Was he logging that stuff back then?
Yeah, he's logging all of that.
Yep.
Wow, that's amazing, dude. He started logging that long ago. I mean, that's like, I sure as hell couldn't, I could give you a time frame on things, but I sure as heck couldn't be like on this day. I mean, give that guy props on
he
that.
had the receipts. He had receipts and all that stuff.
Maybe he started doing it initially out of tax purposes. I don't remember any reason he explained why.
Well, I think
keeping stock of like just everything you have.
He even knew what games he beat, though. Like,
yeah, he was. Yeah. Well, he had a column in there for when he beat a game.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I keep telling him, I was like, dude, I really want your YouTube series on Blu-ray that he did for his Master System, and he said, I'll think about it, and he got agitated and didn't hear anything back.
Probably because you asked like 20 times.
I didn't ask 20 times. I said, if you want to do it, let's do it. I'll master
a little light hyperbole there.
So now, I think in rebuttal to that is, I'm thinking I need to do my own Master System one.
Ooh.
What do you think?
Will there be blackjack?
Should I do a little, make them sweat bullets a little bit? Mine versus his?
Oh, yeah. You gotta say yours is like the elite.
Mine's the definitive.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't gonna stress myself out and make it 30 days. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, I think, just to give him a little run for his money.
I'm gonna do my own Master System videos with blackjack and hookers. In fact, we got the videos.
I keep saying I'm gonna do something and I haven't, and it's like, it's about time I put something out there and just show what I can do, because I have done some stuff. I just don't have. I don't know where it's at, but it's not here. It's not on YouTube, but yeah, I could do. I did some projects like I did this one for this band. Like I made a full produced Blu-ray, and it had like the chapters in it, so you could like click a button and go to a certain chapter, or go to scenes within that chapter. I really had it broken down like some of those intricate Blu-rays do. So I mean, I know I could author something like that, but I think my problem is I get hung up on like I envision what I want to do, but I can't think of how to start it off, to script it, I guess. But I don't know, man. I was thinking, I should do something back on Q-Dog just to see on his Master System thing to see what he'd say. Be kind of fun, the rebuttal. I'm gonna do it.
Do it.
Do it now.
And I think I got everything too for Master System. I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be boxed. So I could do some nice filming close-ups of hardware and games and then captures. So yeah, I mean, I definitely don't have all the little historical paperwork stuff he has, but that stuff's cool, but I want to look at some other aspects of stuff. So yeah. You hear me, Q-Dog? Someday. Let me get this EMT stuff done, and then I'll have a month to chill before I go to fire for the season. And then I was thinking too, like I've seen a lot of guys, like I watched my buddy make his beer business and his promo stuff like over a summer, in between fires and stuff in the evenings. And I think I'll bring that over with me and maybe work on some of this while I'm in the field.
Just for clarity's sake, I'm assuming you mean fire like fighting fires, not like fire festival.
No, like while no, man.
Oh, topical.
I'm gonna be burning over and doing a burn job over in North Dakota
Burning Man?
April.
Good old BJ.
Burning public lands, like burning them off.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't resist making a joke about that, though. I still need to watch those documentaries.
That's all right, man. I did get my NES maker. Hold on, let me show you that. Hold on. I forgot.
NES maker.
The software for...
Not that I'm a huge fan of NES, but I mean, I could make a NES game.
You mean like a dev kit type thing, or?
Yeah, I got the software, and then I got the Caso flash cart. Here's the board. There's a board in there.
I don't know. Like, are you just talking about like making your own game or just doing ports?
No, you can make your own. You can make your own NES thing, and this goes, I guess. Somehow you load it on this cart. That's all I know. Like you put it on this. This goes onto there. The cart it rides onto the cart, and then here's like the data cable.
Yeah, that's also kind of how they rip ROMs, isn't it?
I've never done it. Like, you know, when this project came out, it was like over a year ago, and that's when my buddy started getting me into NES, you know. And I got the software sitting on my laptop, and like, I guess it'd be nice if I knew how to rip the tutorials off of YouTube, but I don't. I don't know if anybody knows how to do that.
If you're going to make a game with that, I don't know if this will help you, but there's a Humble Bundle with a whole bunch of like breaking into game industry stuff books. Might have
I mean, dude, stuff. They got their own tutorial system, and it's like super easy to build with. It's called NES Maker, and that's it's all I know, man. I backed it, got this kit, and it came with the software, and they just updated the software, and I just...
Yeah, I'm just saying that's a thing you can look into if you're...
I've been just too busy. I've been too busy, you know, with this freaking EMT crap, and I'm ready to be done with it. You know, we're all like, man, we're ready to freaking... Been doing this since the first week in November, and it's like, I'm ready to have my life back, you know? But don't worry, man. At Portland Retro Game Show, if one of you guys is choking on a chicken bone or something, I'll definitely save your life.
Will you give me mouth to mouth?
Nope. I got a little thing now that has a little... I'll put the thing over your mouth, and I'll do a CE clamp on your jaw, hold it down, and then I will give you 2 breaths. Count to 5, 2 breaths. Make sure you stay ventilated.
TH.
Breaths. Brian's a fan. Brian's a fan.
I only accept mouth to mouth.
I'll give you the Heimlich first.
Well, you know what? Ryan uses enough ketchup on the sandwiches. The stuff doesn't get lodged.
We'll give him that special kind of Heimlich maneuver.
And it's putting that Humble Bundle in the chat if anyone's interested in it. There's books in there that might not even require interest in game development. I might pick it up for a couple of them. I still need to look into each one. 5 days left.
Nope, like the way they designed that NES Maker is to design from making your visual assets, and then the commands are a little simpler. Like the coding doesn't have to be as deep, I guess, because it's already pre-written or something.
Yeah, it's almost like
RPG Maker.
They built an engine for it, basically. Yeah. And isn't it like a Zelda-like? Like that's kind of what that's designed to do, and then you can add other modules to like...
I've been seeing a lot. I've been seeing like side-scroller, like Mario-like games. I've been seeing the Zelda overhead. That's about what I've seen. I mean, there was some at PRGE. Like there was this one I know I took a snapshot of it somewhere. I got to find it, but I need to go through those pictures. But the game looked really cool, you know, and they said made with NES Maker. And then another guy showed me his at his table. and I chatted with him a little bit, and he had already been working on it, but they were working with an old build of the software. And when it first came out, I was still out in the field working, so I didn't even have a chance to look at it. And I lost my activation code, so I had to email the guy and was like, look, man, I was out in the field. I didn't get my activation code. Can you resend it? And this was like around PRGE or whatever. And then I just haven't really had a chance to dig into it. And it is downloaded on my laptop. And, when I head over to start working, I'll probably mess with it then, because I mean, shit, it gives you everything to build, with tutorials too, like how to do it. So
nice. Anyway.
It's all quiet.
Musty, I asked Ryan about it earlier, but what do you think about maybe doing, if there's enough announcements and stuff to warrant it tomorrow, like kind of a mini hangout for the Nintendo Direct?
Sure. I don't know what my availability looks like at the moment, but go for it. There's no reason not to if it'd be a good discussion. I would just set if you do it, set yourself a time limit.
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe an hour and a half at most.
Yeah, I wouldn't let it go beyond that. Otherwise,
yeah, I was thinking a little bit more structured than this, in just that there's a topic and maybe a starting group of people committed to it. But other than that, it would be just another hangout.
Yeah,
I was thinking of moving this to tomorrow because of that. Just because, as I said earlier, if you wait a week on a direct talking about it, the hype's kind of gone.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we can see that tomorrow. It's 2 p.m. PST is the time for the direct, so there's plenty of time to do an evening stream after that.
Do it.
Yeah, unless there's absolutely diddly crap announced on the thing, then we don't have to do it. That would just be people complaining about how they didn't announce anything.
So are you guys... Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, all they talked about was Fire Emblem.
Boo!
Yeah, that's the joke Ryan made earlier.
Are you guys playing the Bridge Commander or
nope.
Bridge Crew or whatever?
Nope.
Oh, Star Trek?
Which is
yeah.
No.
I don't have Plus, so all of my online all of my games on Sony are either single player or free to play.
See, and I don't have any interest.
That's what I was gonna say.
I don't know. I thought I seen you guys talking about it on Twitter. Like
maybe if this was a Star Wars,
I got tagged on it, but no.
Yeah.
Like I'm along for the ride, and I think I muted that conversation a while ago because it's just it's not something that I'm not gonna play.
Maybe if it was Star Wars, something real fun,
Oh, yeah, come on.
If you're interested in that, you can hit up Buried on Mars on Twitter, see if there's a spot open.
Or Bill.
I'm sure you did switch out.
Bill from STC.
Yeah.
Be another one if you...
Have you played Daracene yet?
Nope.
I really want to get that one.
I haven't even watched anything on it. I remember the reveal, but the reveal said like nothing about that game.
I don't remember what it is.
It's the From Software VR game that they announced.
That was a weird noise.
They announced it at like the end of the pre-show for Sony before they ushered people in and out of ornate buildings.
Yeah, it just didn't stick in my memory. I'm sure if I saw it, I would remember it.
It's been out a couple months now. It's just maybe a month. I don't know. But it looks interesting for a VR on there. And then there was another one. It was about the angels, the death and the angels. You're like,
yeah, that didn't look great.
Yeah, it was upon closer inspection. I'm like, I don't know so much about that one now. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little simple. That one with the kind of crossbow action going on.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
I know Death was in the title for that, I'm pretty sure.
Have you done Zone of the Enders?
No,
VR?
I haven't. I haven't done a heck of a lot of VR since I pulled my shoulder, but all I've played, basically Astrobot, Moss, Beat Saber, Creed, Sprint Vector a little bit. Well, those last two, a little bit of each. I think that was the day I fucked up my shoulder. Because I just played Beat Saber, Creed, Sprint Vector, and then more Beat Saber in a single session. That was a bad idea.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I thought all at once, and that's a lot of pumping your arms. So it's like, maybe that wasn't the best plan.
Yeah.
I thought I seen Q-Dog putting screenshots of Wipeout.
I played a little bit of that too.
In VR?
It's good. It's crazy good in VR.
I haven't done it in VR yet.
I picked the wrong vehicle to play it in VR with, I think, because I had one of those ones that had like the almost pod racer bits coming out on the sides, so it's like I couldn't see over stuff.
Did it make your stomach drop?
Not really. The only one that's kind of made me do that is Sprint Vector, because it has big drops, like you jump off a cliff, essentially.
Yeah.
So you got that little bit of motion kind of, but it wasn't like motion sickness. I've been really lucky with that.
Yeah, that freaking obviously. That Gungrave is a real simple game for VR, but that fucking game gave me motion sickness. Like
that is so weird that they made that for every reason. It is so weird.
That Gungrave gave me motion sickness, and I'm surprised me because I could play that one where it was the terrorist, that terrorist game. What the hell is it?
Firewall?
No, Breach. No, not Breach. Anyways, you play as like two cops or two soldiers, and you fight an army. But anyways, you got to use the gun, and I mean, I could play that game. It didn't make me sick at all. It was a pretty good VR game, but that Gungrave, I mean, I wanted to play it through, but I just my buddy ended up taking over on. I was like, dude, this is making me sick.
The game doesn't look very good either, honestly.
It isn't hard. It really isn't hard. It's more of like cheap shots hitting you, and like that's bullshit, you know.
But that's such an odd franchise revival, and especially in VR, because like that was 2 PS2 games, and it was like the third-person segments of that are like the original game was, but it's so much less in every level.
Well, they're doing another one too.
They're doing another one?
Yeah.
Why?
Because one of those that set you buy on disc is 2 of them. It's the one that come out in Japan that didn't get released here, and then the newest one, basically a second version of it, but I don't know what the hell, more enhanced, more story, whatever.
Yeah, there's only like 3 hours of content on the whole thing, I think.
So they released it in a double pack over here, and then there's a new one coming out. So
speaking of games that only have 3 hours of content, Doom BFR. I also played that. I didn't beat it because the control system was... That was one that was kind of not making me woozy, but just kind of frustrating to... It was a good game, but it was just kind of frustrating to move around the way they were. Because they structure it like the big fights, like when you do like the... wherever the pod things are, when you initiate one of those kind of rush modes, it would structure kind of like the original game is. So it didn't really give you a whole like heck of a lot of time to move out of the way without getting disoriented. Cool idea, but they just threw too much at you, I think.
I know I played an early version of Ace Combat 7 a couple years ago at PSX, and like it didn't make me sick, you know. And now that it's out, you know, I got to remember about that one too, because I would pick that one up. That was a pretty cool experience because it was like you really felt like you had to really be like cognizant of everything going on in that cockpit, you know, as opposed to playing like the other Ace Combat games. You know, you might use a control stick to glance left or glance right real quick, you know, with it, and then it would just pull the camera back to your center point.
Yeah.
But with that, I mean, you would literally have to be looking like if you had your plane inverted and you're trying to come in on somebody like this, you'd have to be like freaking looking in your heads up, and then like the canopy had the heads-up display, you know, and like you would be like matching everything up with that and your head movement, and the jet would flow with it. You know, like probably like natural mechanics of how that shit really works, and like it was pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Might do that if the game goes on sale. I forgot that had VR in it.
Yeah.
It looks like a good game in general. I haven't seen the VR mode reviewed. I've just seen the game itself, standard mode. But Ace Combat hasn't held much interest to me, but I'd try them at some point. It's kind of odd to me that they didn't put one of them on like Games as Gold or something for the month of that release. Like they didn't do 6 or 5 or whatever the ones were, previous ones. The ones that were like on 360, I mean.
Yeah. It's all quiet now. Musty, are you still getting blasted with cold?
It's windy right now. We got another 6 to 9 inches of snow.
Damn.
Yesterday into today. So we're dealing with that right now. But my neighbor's awesome, and he keeps snow blowing my driveway, which is great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Like I wake up and it's like, well, I guess I'm gonna go shovel. Oh, it's done. I guess I'm gonna go play Beat Saber.
Yeah, I wish I did that yesterday. I could do that yesterday because I tweaked my back.
Ooh, yeah.
My shoulder and my neck are fine, but my left lower back is just really tense.
Yeah, that's no good.
One thing heals, another injury takes its place.
Yeah, well, that's...
I want to play Beat Saber, damn it.
Yeah.
And give it at least another week for my neck.
I dipped into Expert.
Or
and that's nuts. For Beat Saber, yeah.
Yeah, did you try any like the slower beats per minute type songs?
I've finished a bunch of them. But yeah, some of them it's like once you hit the like last chorus, things just go insane.
Yeah. Did you try Angel Voices?
I did, and I got right to the point with where the drums really kick in.
Yeah, where it like really like goes into the second phase of the song and it becomes more hectic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that first bit kind of gives you a trick. It thinks it's going to be, you think it's going to be kind of relatively easy, and then it just goes insane.
Yeah, but I'm so mad at myself about full comboing Angel Voices on hard. I tried it again today, and like I made a mistake like 200 notes in. I was just like, I can either quit and restart this thing, or I can just keep going. It's like, just finish the song. So,
yeah.
But yeah.
That new difficulty is probably really insane.
There's some motions that I don't know that I'll be able to pull off right now. Like, some of the, like, down ups, like, the up is, like top of the screen up.
Oof.
So it's not just, like, tap, 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 tap. It's like boom, boom, and then, yeah.
Yeah, just like the wide arm movements.
Mm-hmm.
The really fast, like where you have to do kind of the chopping. I still not got the timing down on most of those.
Yeah,
when I say chopping, like up and down really quick.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a long string of ones. Really
well, because those, if you go in the wrong direction, you're toast.
You're screwed. You're done.
Yeah. But yeah. For that reason, I was gonna say I'm probably running out of my own time tonight, but
yeah, we can finish off with the VR talk and then end it. But all I was gonna say is, I find crouching helps with those like long strings, the close ones. So you just kind of get in a little bit closer, and it kind of makes it easier too.
I could see that. There's sometimes when I do like spread my feet wider apart, so I'm not like up on my feet, and then I can just sort of lean, especially for like obstacle cycles.
Yeah, and doing the kind of wide stance, so you can kind of bob and weave and go back and forth. It looks more ridiculous, but it helps with like if you're trying to do it as a workout.
It's like
doing extra movement.
I don't care what I look like playing this game.
Yeah,
like,
no,
I really don't, and it's kind of liberating.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, we like I said, we tried Rec Room tonight, and that has some good potential. Even just socializing in the like space could be a lot of fun.
I think there are people that do podcasts out of that.
Yeah, John Riggs does one. Like, yeah, they just sit around there's like couches, so they all just sort of sit on the couch and like they legit have a conversation. Like I was in there with Derek and Josh Creeplead, and yeah, we were just in the room. Like we were making eye contact and talking to each other. We weren't just like randomly like saying things. We were actually like making hand gestures. I don't know. It's wild. And it's crossplay with PC. So if someone has PC VR, Rec Room is crossplay.
Okay, yeah. I think we're all kind of done in terms of having things to talk about on your way out. Clearly,
yeah. I need to get some rest.
Yeah, we started late today, so it's fine to cut it off a little slightly early in terms of relative runtime.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to cut those guys off, but
nah. Do you guys have anything else to talk about?
I'm tired.
Yeah, and Yoshi is just off elsewhere in his own world. He might not even know if we're still going or if it is still on.
Meh. Q Dog, if you're watching, chilling on the couch, snuggled up, how you doing? Watch him pop in.
Yeah, no one's watching this.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
We should say bye to Catherine if she's still in here, but
bye, Catherine.
Yeah. See you, Catherine, and everyone else in the chat that's still here, if anyone else is still here.
And Z, if Z is still here, thanks for interacting, bud.
Yeah.
We sometimes get people who aren't familiar with us, and it's usually a bad time. But it's nice to have somebody who's actually like engaging in conversation that's relevant and not gross.
Yeah, like there were a couple of comments I thought, like, is he trolling? It's like probably not though.
Yeah,
it was decent back and forth.
Sweet.
Okay, we'll see about a short, direct, focused one tomorrow. That'll be a discussion in the Discord for the most part. We'll see after it airs.
Okay.
Yoshi got the hell out of here. See you guys.
Okay,
right.
See everyone next week or tomorrow, depending.
All right.
All right. Good night.